صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. Respected brothers and sisters, boys and girls, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'd like to thank you all for coming to the Majilis to commemorate the martyrdom of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And before we begin, I would like to just share with you one narration about friendship. As you know, friendship is very important. The Imam had friends in Karbala who were willing to die for him, who actually did die for him. So the Imam says in regards to friendship, the one who reveals your faults to you like a mirror is your true friend. So your friend who reveals your faults to you, who tries to help you, is your true friend. And the one who just covers up your misdeeds, your evil doings, he is actually your enemy. So this is for the parents, for the children. Make sure you pick the right friends. And yeah, and I'd now like to invite Ashir Ghazmi to recite Quran after Allah salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. MashaAllah, ahsant. I'd now like to invite Brother Misal Ghazmi to recite Hadith al-Qisa after another last salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Yes.
حديث القصة روي عن جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن فاطمة الزهراء عليها السلام بنت رسول الله قال سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة، فقلت عليك السلام. قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا، فقلت له أعيذك بالله يا أبته من الضعف. فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به. فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يطلع كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. فما كانت إلا الساعة وإذا بولد الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله. فقلت نعم، إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جده. يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء؟ قال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معه تحت الكساء فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة
بنت جد رسول الله؟ فقلت نعم، إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جده، السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله، أتأذن لي أن أدخل معكما تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. قال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عم رسول الله. فقلت نعم، ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وسيي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء. ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء. فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرف الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمناء للسماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يعلمني ما يعلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم، وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
قال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي، إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مدعية ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. قال جبرائيل يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم، قد فهمت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله. العلي الأعلى يقرأك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام، ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مدعية ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يصري إلا لعجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذنوا لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله، إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء. فقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام إذا والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبي واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا والمحبين وفيهم محموم إلا وفرج الله همه ولا مهموم إلا وكشف الله همه ولا طاله حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي عليه السلام إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Ahsan, thank you for your beautiful recitation. Next we have Brother Muhammad Abbas to recite Madliya. So can we please welcome him with a loud salat ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad.
Before I start, I got some speech. So today my speech is about friendship between Mawla Imam Hussain al-Islam and Habib ibn Muzahir. Habib ibn Muzahir was one of Imam Hussain al-Islam's friends from childhood. After helping Muslim ibn Akhil in Kufa, Habib left Kufa secretly to go help Imam Hussain. Friends who are there when things are going well, but leave you during times of difficulty are not loyal friends. Habib showed that he was a loyal friend of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Bawafa, Ya Abbas, Bawafa, Ya Abbas, Bawafa, Ghazi mere, Bawafa, Ghazi mere. सलाम गाजी वफाकतू है इमाम गाजी सलाम गाजी वफाकतू है इमाम गाजी जिगर जिगर है अलम गवाही दिलों पे तेरा है बादशाही जिगर जिगर है अलम गवाही दिलों पे तेरा है बादशाही लबों पे तेरा है नाम गाजी वफाकतू है इमाम गाजी सलाम गाजी वफाकतू है इमाम गाजी तेरे अलम का है हम पसाया अलम पसाया है पंजतन का तेरे अलम का है हम पसाया अलम पसाया है पंजतन का पलम तेरा मक़ाम गाजी वफाकतू है इमाम गाजी सलाम गाजी वफाकतू है इमाम गाजी हुसैन मौला से प्यार करना हुसैन पे जान निसार करना यही है तेरा पयाम गाजी वफाकतू है इमाम गाजी Imam Ghazi, wafaqatuha Imam Ghazi. जो तेरे बाजू हराम ना होते, असील अहले हराम ना होते, नाजती ज़ैनब यूशाम गाजी, वफाक़तुहा इमाम गाजी, सलाम गाजी, वफाक़तुहा इमाम गाजी, बावफा या अब्बास, बावफा या अब्बास.
MashaAllah, well done. That was a very good speech. Well, an even better recitation, so thank you, Muhammad Abbas. And next I would like to invite the three brothers, Jafar, Hassan and Bakr, to recite Martiya after La Salat ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad.
मामा करबला दिया मामा, मामा करबला दिया मामा, मामा करबला दिया मामा, मामा करबला दिया मामा, पुत्रा दिया लाशा टुकड़े रैया लब दिया विच सहरावा, मामा करबला दिया मामा, मामा करबला दिया मामा, मामा करबला दिया मामा. सब्र दे मालिक नू सैन लैला के इज़न जे देवे दे, मैं सबर दी सांझ च अकबर दे सीने चों सांग हटावा, मामा करबला दिया मामा, मामा करबला दिया मामा, मामा करबला दिया मामा. आखे माँ कासिम दी माते एहसान करी, देर ताई लड़दा रवी, तेरे टुकड़े मुताबिक वदनिया ने मेरे वीर हुसैन दिसावा, मामा करबला दिया मामा, मामा करबला दिया मामा, मामा करबला दिया मामा. जदों कैदी होके लंगिया मकतल चों वैन ज़ैनब कीता, लाशा वल मावा ना वेखन किते रुक ना जावन सावा, मामा करबला दिया मामा, मामा करबला दिया मामा. सांगते असग़र दे वेख के आखे रबा, जे न कैदी हो सिर सांगत तेरा लावन लई, मैं देर कदी ना लावा, मामा करबला दिया मामा, मामा करबला दिया मामा. शिमर दे खंजर दे वार ज़ारा रोके, नाल हसैन कवे मैं चकिया पीस के पाल असी, किवे हाथ गर्दन तो छावा, मामा करबला दिया मावा करबला दिया मावा करबला दिया मावा
صل على محمد وآل محمد. Another last salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Oh Habib of Allah ya Nabi. 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 After you died, they stole my rights. Fidak was snatched out of my sight. I had to go to court and fight, Ya Nabi. After you died, they stole my rights. Fidak was snatched out of my sight. I had to go to court and fight, Ya Nabi. I would go from each door to door. Your sunnah I tried to restore, and in turn they burned down my door, Ya Nabi. I fought for mine and Ali's right, losing Muhsin into the light. I was buried during the night, Ya Nabi. Ya Nabi, I died and left this world angry, Ya Nabi. I joined you first and in my teens, Ya Nabi. My lovers don't know where I am, Ya Nabi, oh Ya Nabi, Ya Nabi, oh Ya Nabi. Oh Habib of Allah, Ya Nabi. Oh Habib of Allah, Ya Nabi. Oh Habib of Allah, Ya Nabi. I would walk in these holy streets. Without you they are incomplete. The people are now misguided, Ya Nabi. I would walk in these holy streets. Without you they are incomplete. The people are now misguided, Ya Nabi. Innovation has become rife. I fear your way of life will die. Without you, how can we live life, Ya Nabi? I remember how in the streets I would clean you from their deceit, when they would throw what is impure onto you. Ya Nabi, they forgot you were born as pure, Ya Nabi. They would deny you as the cure, Ya Nabi. There was a lot you had endured, Ya Nabi, oh Ya Nabi, Ya Nabi, oh Ya Nabi. Oh Habib of Allah, 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 Ya Nabi. They would shout louder than your speech, ignored God's words that you would preach, just to upset and cause you pain, Ya Nabi. You were accused of sorcery, then they started a dynasty during your funeral prayer, Ya Nabi. They tried to kill you in your bed, but Ali stayed and slept instead. Now Israel knocks on your door, Ya Nabi. They tried to kill you in your bed, but Ali stayed and slept instead. Now Israel knocks on your door, Ya Nabi. Ya Nabi. Israel has come for your soul, Ya Nabi. By taking yours, he takes my soul, Ya Nabi. Without you, my heart is not whole, Ya Nabi, oh Ya Nabi. Ya Nabi, oh Ya Nabi. Oh Habib of Allah, Ya Nabi. Oh Habib of Allah, Ya Nabi. Oh Habib of Allah, Ya Nabi. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
And can we please welcome on Abbas for surely wa ala salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
There are many people who are our age, and because of different illnesses or sicknesses, they have left this world, which can happen. For all those people who have died due to health and sickness and might not be older than us, let's read for them one Surah Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحة القائلون ولا يحصي نعماءه العادون ولا يعد حقه المجتهدون، الذي لا يدرك بعد الهمم ولا يناله غاص الفتن، الذي ليس لصفته حد محدود ولا نعت موجود ولا وقت معدود. أما بعد، صلى الله على سيدنا مولانا حبيب إله العالمين أبو القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين. أما بعد، قال الله الحكيم في محكم كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، ولقد كرمنا بني آدم. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Assalamu alaikum. I wanted to start today's lecture by saying how unbelievably proud I am of all of those who've been attending and listening and participating, because it occurred to me a few days ago while chatting to some of my friends that we are discussing some really important and complex and in many ways not often discussed aspects of Karbala. And here you guys are teaching me and some of the older ones about how to discuss these topics. And I'm so impressed by the level you guys are at. And I can't wait to see how, with your support, we can keep going through the days of Muharram until Ashura. And so, to give all yourselves a shout out and some credit and some, amazing recognition, Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. There are some friends of mine who are from South London who are here today. And I would like someone to give them a brief summary. They're sitting over there, by the way, two Majilis brothers. A brief summary of what have we been talking about, what have we been discussing, and what have you learned over the last, 5 Majilis we've been having so far? What have you guys learned about? So who can volunteer and get the dear brothers up to speed on where we are at? Do you want to put your hand up, brother? Okay, anyone else? Yeah, bro, go ahead. Pardon me? Reform. Okay, choose anyone at random in this room to tell them what reform means. Alright, Raven's been chosen, bro. What's reform? Okay, you got to choose someone at random as well now. Like you have to choose someone. Zakir, go ahead. What is reform? You said your name. What's reform?
Reform is when you take something back from how it was when it was before, because it was bad and I have to go back to it.
Good. Reform is when something was in a certain good ideal state and it went bad or corrupted, and we're bringing it back to its original state. Alright, cool. One of the sisters, I need your help now for this one. What is reform? Who can give a summary of what reform of the heart means? What's going on in the heart and we've got to reform it? Have a think? Alright, sister, go ahead.
It's a battle between nur and desire in your heart every day, and it's like you have to choose which is better. So you probably would want nur to win because like desires the bad option.
Right, exactly. Internal battle in the heart, light and desires. We want light to win. We're going to control ourselves and our body, our senses mainly for light. Amazing answer. One of the brothers who's aged over 15. Alright. Who can tell us what reform of the soul means that we looked at? I know not your name, don't be choosy. Volunteer someone. What is reform of the soul? Brothers over 15. Don't let the sisters out do you like this. Come on guys. They're running circles around you. Come on. You're not over 15? You're over 15? Eeny, meeny, miny, Muhammad. Go ahead. What does it mean to reform the soul, which we looked at the other day? Do you remember?
Yeah, it's like when you bring the soul back to its pure state. Because before you were born, it was pure, and during your lifetime, you've been exposed to unpure things, and you have to control your desires and your 5 senses to like bring yourself closer back to Allah.
You're right, but that's all about
and
your heart.
And the gate to your heart.
So that's still heart. That's still heart.
What was the question?
Reforming the soul, remember?
Oh.
Difference.
Oh, so you make a note of the things you have to do.
Good, good.
Yeah.
So the more you know what?
Or the more you know yourself, the more you know Allah.
Okay. Can you pick anyone around us to explain that narration? The more you know yourself, the more you know your Lord. What does that mean? Pick some random person. Feel free to turn around as well.
Say.
Hussein Jan. Okay, Hussein. What does it mean that the more you know yourself, the more you know your Lord? You can do it. I believe in you. We all believe in him, yeah? Yeah. Hey, go ahead. So the main point was, if you look at yourself, you're going to find differences in you, right? And that's going to take you back towards God, right?
If you know what corrupted things you're doing, the sins you're doing, if you take them out of them and you critique them in a way, and you go back to the right path, then you're getting closer to Allah.
Amazing. You remember what your origin is, yeah? Very well done, bro. Thank you so much. People are all the same in some ways, and they're different in other ways, okay? Can any of the sisters who, I haven't said which sisters yet, wait. Sisters who were born in either April, May, June, July or August. Can any of you sisters please explain how one way in which we could all be different and we can understand how we're all different people, either in how we learn, how we like people, or something like that. You two are always helping. Anyone else other than these two sisters over here? Actually, you're not spoken today, have you? Alright. Firstly, listening guys. Listening please guys. Listening please, sisters. Yo, thank you. What month were you born in? Alright, cool. So, what way can we be different, and that's okay to embrace that we're different?
We're different by what we like and how we learn and like our personalities.
Amazing. How we learn and our personalities. Good. Is that your hand up, sister? I don't know. I didn't see. Okay, no, sorry, it wasn't. I got that one wrong. Yes, sister, go ahead.
If we're
Wait. Where were you born?
August.
Alright, cool.
If we're introverted or extroverted?
Okay. Any brothers know what introverted and extroverted mean? Oh, wow, mashallah. Go ahead. What? Name one of them. It's okay. You can think about it. Do you know what extroverted might mean? When you what? Sorry. Yeah, introverted is when you feel comfortable by yourself more than being with people, right? And extroverted is what, brothers? Go ahead. No, I didn't pick you. Go ahead.
Introverted is like when you like to be and don't like you get your mind energy from being alone.
Okay, and extroverted? Go ahead, brother.
Extroverted means that you like being with people.
And extroverted means you like being people. That's actually true. Okay. Main source of energy comes from people. Smashed it, brothers. Yesterday's topic. What were we reforming yesterday? Anyone remember? Anyone remember? You didn't speak yet? Alright, go ahead, brother. Reform your mind was yesterday. What does it mean to reform your mind? 1 second. Guys, the reason why I asked you guys questions so you can feel involved, and it's very important that I need you, but we've got to listen to each other. Excuse me, sisters, can you please listen? Because we need to listen to each other and then we can go on this journey together. If we're not listening, then we're not appreciating each other's points of view. And that's not the kind of environment we want to build over here. So if God wants to speak, let's all listen as best we can. What did we look at yesterday? Your emotions, to learn to control your emotions. Any tips or tricks we learned yesterday about controlling your emotions? Yes, sister?
You should you should first identify what emotions you have, so that you're aware of how to solve the problem, and you talk to yourself before you go talk to anyone else. You lash out your anger or whatever,
and then you can find it on your body and touch, like, where's the place that you can feel the discomfort, and then talk to people and make a list of things that are calming for you. Zafir, go ahead.
If you like feel a bit sad or something, you should if you feel like emotional, you should find out what it is, and before you go to anyone, you should think about a minute or so to think about it and how you can make yourself better.
Exactly, that's such an important one. I'm glad you made it, because if every time you're feeling sad about something, you immediately go to talk to someone, when that person's not there, if you're ever somewhere where they're not there, you're going to find it really hard to deal with that feeling, because you've not learned to sit with it yourself. So you go to them. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, today we're not looking at reform of the mind, we're not looking at reform of the heart, we're not looking at reform of the soul. Today we're looking at reform of the body. Okay? The body that all of us have. The human body, which all of us have, has a natural ideal state. And sometimes we do things or allow our body to get in situations which go away from how it should be. And reform is to bring the body back to its original place. Before I go through what those things are, the human body is quite amazing, I know. Does anyone know any amazing facts or things about the body that, you'd like to share that other people might not know about? What's so special about this body that all of us have? Any interesting things about it? Yeah, go ahead, Zafir.
When you cut yourself, your body's holding a scab over to make sure no infections come in.
Amazing. When you have a cut on your body, the body internally sends platelets and red blood cells to form a scab to heal that part of your body. Amazing. Anyone else? By the way, anyone here studying medicine or wanting to do medicine? Alright, so let's actually have you guys first. So You.
No, it wasn't me.
No, but I saw you. Anyone sisters who think of the medicine, don't be shy now. Look, you know what's gonna happen? When you're in like the hospital wing and they say we need you, you're like, no, I'm not a doctor. This is training for you. Who here wants to be a doctor or study about the human body? Anyone who wants to? Alright, okay, listening. Of the brothers, who wants to? Alright, can you tell us one thing about the body that you find interesting? Listening, please, guys. You don't know? That's okay. The brain has 1 trillion brain cells. That is amazing. I don't even know what 1 trillion means, but it's a massive number. MashaAllah. Okay, sister, I saw you. Don't be shy. I saw one of your sisters. No, behind you there's someone as well. Who was it?
Yeah.
Okay, sister. Was it you? Yeah. Yeah. Can you tell us something about the human body that we can learn about? What do you know about the human body? Can you name an organ in the body that we might not know about? Or that we might know about that you want to draw attention to? That's no problem. Who else was with it? It was you, sister, yeah? Alright, guys, listening everyone. Excuse me, guys. Hey, yo. Okay, thank you. I'm going to come to you next. Sister, tell us one thing about the human body. Yeah.
Our spine is the longest part of our body.
Spine is the longest part of the body. The longest bone. Amazing. That's true. The skin is longer as a surface, but the spine is longer. Amazing. Okay, listening, guys. You guys over here, please. You've got to keep listening. And you guys as well, brothers. Just because you're in the corner, I can't see you. Alright, go ahead, sister.
The ear bone is the smallest bone in the body.
The ear bone is the smallest bone in the body. Amazing. Go ahead, brother. One second. Guys, you know when I said, can you please stop talking? I was serious, yeah? Someone's talking, please listen. Go ahead, brother.
We have 50% the same DNA as a banana.
50% DNA of a banana? Okay. Next fact for the sister at the back here. Listening, please.
The tongue is the strongest muscle in your body.
Tongue is strong muscle in your body. Wow. Yeah. You know what Imam Ali says? The tongue is like a beast. You let it go, it can devour anything. Meaning when you speak, you can, your words can have more power than any part of your body. But I think you mean literally, right? The actual tongue. That's amazing. I didn't know that. Go ahead, brother. What do you know about the human body?
Babies have more bones than human bone.
That is true. That's actually true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, babies are born with other bones which later on merge. Who's not spoken? Who's spoken? Joanne, you've not spoken. Go ahead.
70% of the body is water.
You say a little bit louder, please.
70% of the body.
70% of the human body is water. Okay, brother, why don't you go ahead?
When a baby has 300 bones.
300 bones. Okay, that's the one that we were saying. That's how many bones babies got. Mad. Brother, why don't you go ahead? Yeah.
The teeth is the strongest bone in the body.
Teeth, strongest bone. How do we test that? I don't know. Hussein, you're into the dentist today, yeah? You spoken. Okay, last point's going to be from Hamad, and then we finish. Last point, and we move on, okay? Tell us one last fact about the body from Hamad. Go ahead.
A human on average takes 22,000 breaths a day.
Wow. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Alright, hands down, I'll give you more chances, don't worry. Hands down everyone, and quiet please. Okay, as you have just learned from one another, the human body is quite amazing, and it has so many remarkable properties. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives our bodies certain abilities but expects us to treat it in a certain way. Okay? The idea is that Allah created us, gave you a body for a reason, and we've got to take care of this body, and it has been made exactly how we need it. It's been made with the ability to eat and drink and sleep and do all the things that the human being needs for them to live. Islah, reform, is when we've allowed something in our body to not work the way it was designed by Allah. And we need to go back to how it was. For example, being clean. The body was made and we're supposed to keep it clean. If we become dirty or impure, Islam says go back and clean that body to make it clean again. Because taharat is a part of the body. That's reform. Another example. The idea of balance and moderation. If you do anything to the body too much, you go away from what it was designed for. Eating too much, sleeping too much, even exercise too much, staying still too much. Anything too much is something wrong. Islah means go back to moderation. Then we've got balance. If in your body one part is working too much, that's not good for that organ of that body. It can be hyperactive. If an organ's not working enough, that's a problem too, because it was made to work in a certain way. Equilibrium, balance, discipline as well. So if someone is not eating at the right time, or sleeping at the right time, or they're not doing these things regularly, that's an issue with the body as well. Islah means let's go back to balance, to equilibrium. Equilibrium means when everything is in the ideal state and not too much. Okay. The Holy Prophet has said, in the Holy Prophet Muhammad, please salawat for him, please. Allah has not created a single sickness for the body except that there is a cure in it somewhere, except the sickness of death. That's the only thing that we were not going to find a cure of. We're going to have to face our death at some point. But every other sickness, every other illness, to some degree or another, has some cure or treatment or ability to live with that illness, or a complete cure. And Allah is the one who sends in this world different remedies to those illnesses. What I would like to go through now are the ways that the Holy Prophet treated his body and Ahl al-Bayt. And I'm going to give you a chance to ask yourself, how do you think we behave in those situations? Okay? The first one I'll answer myself, the next one I'm going to ask you guys, so I need all of your attention inshallah. When it comes to how we should eat, the Prophet said, eat when you are hungry and stop when you are hungry. Okay? Sometimes we eat when we're hungry. Sometimes we don't eat when we're hungry, but just because we're made to eat. Sometimes we eat until we're full and then we stop. But not how the Prophet ate. The Prophet was still a little bit hungry and he stopped while he was a little bit hungry, not when he was full. So we're not supposed to fill ourselves when we literally can't take one more bite. That's not how the Prophet ate. And scientists say the reason for that is, they look at this narration, you know why he ate like this? Because you know when you're hungry and you suddenly don't feel hungry anymore, it's because your brain knows you're full. It takes 20 minutes from when your stomach is full for your mind to tell you that you should stop eating. Okay? So by the time your mind has told you stop eating, you've eaten 20 minutes more than you should have. So that's why when you're eating, eat slowly and stop while there's still space left for you, so that you're not overeating and eating too much. Also sharing food. The Prophet says, one portion of food can be shared among 2 people. And 2 portions of food can be shared among 4 people. The idea being, when you get food, share it. And don't think that eating alone when there's people around you is appropriate or acceptable. Okay. Now I'm going to go through a number of ideal foods we should be eating, and I'm going to ask you what you think those foods are. Here's the first one. Are you guys with me?
Yeah.
The Prophet says, if you start your meal with something, it heals 73 sicknesses already. Question for all of you. Think for 20 seconds. What is that something you should start your meal with? Go ahead. It's not Bismillah. It's actually like something that you eat. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who knows what you should be? If you begin your meal with this thing, 73 seconds is gone already. Brother, go ahead. Not breakfast. I thought mentioned, I don't know, let's not go into that. No, not breakfast. Something before all the meals that you have in the morning. What's that one thing that you should be having? Brother, go ahead. Not dates, but dates is answer for a different question. Oh, I gave you a spoiler. Sister, go ahead. Salt. Give us salawat for the sister. Prophet says, if you begin, listening please guys, if you begin, and in the beginning of the day you eat salt or salt before your meal, 73 sicknesses automatically go away from that salt. Even if it's like a small pinch of salt. In our family, sometimes we have too much salt in meals. It's not good, but a tiny little pinch is very good. When you're fasting in Ramadan, it's good to open your fast with salt, not with dates. So another good thing. Well on, sister. Okay. The Prophet then says, the best of food is something, of all food. And the best of fruits is something. What fruit? Think about that. Hands down, not yet. Hands down. What is the best of food? What's the best of fruit? Hands up if you know. Hassan, go ahead.
The barley.
Huh?
Food. Barley.
Barley.
Yeah.
Okay, Hassan thinks barley. Who's got another idea of the best fruit? What do you think the best fruit? And what do you think the best fruit is? Barley and dates is the same thing. So what do you think? Fig and a kind of guava. Okay, maybe any sisters in that area? Stay quiet there. Why are you following? Do you have any ideas? Which one? Fig, maybe fig. Brother, go ahead. Halim. Brother, go ahead. Pomegranate. The hadith is, the best of food is this, and the best of fruit is this. So far we've got barley, we've got fig, we've got pomegranate. Okay, we kind of got halim. Alright. What do you think? Salad, dates, rice, mango, biryani. Okay. Here's the answer. The Holy Prophet says, listening guys, listening please. Guys over there please. The Prophet says, the best of foods that you could eat is bread. Because that is the basis. And the best of fruits you can have is grape. Okay. The next narration the Prophet says. Now for all of this one is really important because guys, we have this a lot. We have this so much. But we don't know that it's part of the Sunnah. The Prophet says, something is to food like the master is to the people. And this is the master of all foods. What is that master? It's not water, water's not food. What's the master of foods? 10 seconds. 10, 9, He chose the end of the countdown. Okay, have you got an answer? What you did that? What do you think it is? What's the master of the food?
The master is bread and grapes.
You think bread and... I already said bread and grapes. That's what you answered. Who has something? What do you think? You think chocolate? What do you think? Egg? What do you think? Biryani. Chicken? What do you think, sister? What do you think? Pomegranate? What do you think, sister?
Boiled white rice and olives.
Boiled white olives.
Boiled white rice with olive. With olive.
That's a whole meal. The Holy Prophet has said, one second guys, listening. Listening guys, I need you to listen or we can't do this. Listening, Guys, please can you be quiet so we can hear the answer? Zainab, go and have the last guess quickly. Honey or oil? The Prophet has said, rice is the master The Holy Prophet has said that there are three things which delight the body. They are perfume, soft clothing, and drinking something else. Now that something else, it sustains the body, it removes filth from the chest, and there's even narrations it removes tuberculosis as well. What is that thing which if you drink is one of the three things that can delight the body and have all those properties, and it's not water? Hands down, hands down, hands down. Hands down, everyone, hands down. I see that one there. Okay. The question was, what is one of those three things that delights the body and has all the properties of feeling what's in the chest? It's drinking something. Brother, what do you think it is? Drinking pomegranate juice. What do you think it is? What's the juice, sister? What do you think it is? Yeah? Orange juice. What do you think it is, sister? Coke. Milk. What do you think? Some water. Grape juice. What do you think? The Holy Prophet has said there are three things which delight the body. They are for you to, what were the first two actually? Perfume, wearing soft clothing, and drinking honey. One last one. Parents tell me Spanish is really good, but I've got to write it on my hands. Are you sure? Okay, last narration. The Holy Prophet says, if you eat this thing, it can increase your intellect. I'm going to give you a clue. I'm going to give you a clue. Intellect means that you can increase how you think. My clue is, every time I eat this thing, I don't even know that I've eaten it. That's
when you see they're getting hard, just say okay? When you see they're getting hard, and before he was Nara.
The Holy Prophet says, what is that one thing that if you eat it, it increases your intellect? And now my clue was, I don't know what I eat it. I see a lot of hands here, but let's start here this time. Brother, go ahead. Walnut. Anyone else have walnut? Put your hand down if you know walnut. Anyone got any other answers? Who's not spoken? Listening. Nuts. Okay, what do you think, sister? Yeah, that's you. Go ahead. Dates. Okay. Who's not spoken? You go ahead. Almonds. Not nuts. No more answers about nuts. I've had enough of them. Sister, go ahead. Okay, anyone over here? Pomegranate? Alright, interesting. Anything? Sugar, okay. Okay, the Holy Prophet says that if you eat this one thing, it can increase your intellect. It's not walnuts. It's not almonds. It's not peanuts. Yeah. It's not pomegranates. It's not chickpeas. It's not dates. The answer is celery. Why is that angry? It's okay. Go ahead, sister. So you got, they might have had traded in from coming in from other places. That's what the narration says, yeah. No, like, you know, see, it has no taste, then you can't taste celery. What do you think?
I know.
Okay, let's move on. As you guys have been listening, guys, as you've been listening, there are certain foods that are good for certain functions of the human body. And Allah has made all those things available in the earth. What we can't do is have excess, too much or too little of these special foods that we have. Okay? So I'll give you an example. In our community and culture, we eat a lot of meat. Okay? Like every day for dinner, for breakfast and these things. Now meat is very, very good. The Prophet says that meat is the best condiment, meaning the best thing you'll have with your food in this dunya for akhirah. It's true. And he says, if you don't eat meat for 40 days, it will weaken your body. But at the same time, we're told, if you eat meat every day for 40 days in a row, it will make your heart hard. And Imam Ali says, don't eat too much meat, because it will be like there's a graveyard for dead animals in your stomach. All you're doing, eating meat. So you have moderation. Moderation is the aim of all the things that we are going to be discussing. Actually, I'll come towards the end. When it comes to when our body is not working well, when we are sick or we are feeling unwell, Imam As-Sadiq alayhi salam, we just salawat for the Imam. Says, if you knew how much blessing you're getting when you're not feeling well, when you're sick, how much God's blessing you when you're not well, you would wish to die in that state of sickness. Because Allah, by giving us illnesses here and there, is giving us chances to pause, to go back to Allah. And if we've done some sins in this world, that sickness is almost like taking some punishment off the body and getting it out of our system. So when you're not well, say, Alhamdulillah, Ya Allah, you can cure me, take medicine, but don't feel despondent that why has God given me all of these sicknesses to me? Why am I not feeling well? No. God loves everyone, and He puts you through experiences to give your body taharat. And sickness is one of those things. One of the things we should all be doing in our lives is being very grateful to our mothers. Because in all the narrations that I've read, or all the hadith I've read, nothing comes close to the reward of a mother for giving birth to children because of what the body goes through. Angels are sent to a mother before she has a child, during and after. If a mother dies while having a child, she's a shaheeda right there and then. In fact, a mother has so much reward for having a child, we are told, because of the pain that she goes through for that one act of having of childbirth. Allah sends continuous angels to do dua for that mother for the pain she went through for us. So the body will go through pain a lot, and we have to give a big thanks to our mothers for bearing with us through 9 months and through all the time before and all the time after. Okay, so the body goes through pain. Certain foods are good for us. Sicknesses can be a benefit for us if we are doing istighfar and going back to God, and we thank our mothers. Here's the last point I want to make, and then I'm going to finish and go to Messiah. Do you remember in the first day I mentioned that sometimes we don't like our bodies, we don't feel secure about our bodies? We should all be working to a place where we're looking in the mirror and saying that, you know how I look right now? Allah made me like this. And Allah knows me and created me with beauty. And therefore, I am beautiful. And we shouldn't need other people to tell us this, or on social media, or getting likes, or retweets, or follows to know that you have been created beautifully. Because you are. And you know what happens sometimes? We think, if only I was something. If only I was I looked more pretty, if only my skin was different, if only my hair was more straight, if only I was taller or stronger, my body looked like that person's body. All of these voices are not how Allah wants us to think. Because how you've been created is beautiful. And we go through things like eating the right foods and exercising and sleeping because this body belongs to God. But so does this beauty. And never for one moment think that you are not beautiful because God has made you with His own beauty. Okay? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Let us now, in the last moments that we have, pause for a moment, breathe and take our minds towards the day of Ashura and Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Day by day, as these majlises keep going, we're getting closer and closer to the day of Ashura, which is when Imam Hussein alayhi salam and all his friends and companions laid down their lives for the sake of this religion. And we have everything that we have because of what they went through on the day of Ashura. All of the pain that their body went through and their hearts went through was so that we today can gather and understand Allah and try and be better people. Imam Hussein has many friends who fight and die for him. I mentioned some of his friends yesterday. We mentioned Habib bin Madahir and others as well. Yesterday I mentioned the name of Hur, but I didn't go into detail who Hur was. Let me mention to you all today. Hur is the commander of one of the legions who fights against Imam Hussein before Ashura. And he's making sure Imam Hussein does not get to drink water, that he's camped in a very uncomfortable place on the desert where it's hot. And as the days are coming closer and closer to Ashura, Hur realizes he's on the wrong path. And he feels so guilty. So on the night of Muharram, of Ashura, the last night before the big battle, he goes on his horse and he asks himself, am I going to fight for the one who's going to take me towards heaven or towards hell? And he says to himself, well, how can I choose hell when Imam Hussein is offering me heaven? So he gets on his horse and he goes with his son and they ride towards Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Now as Hur gets closer and closer, he starts feeling more and more ashamed. That hold on a second, what if Imam doesn't accept me because I'm his enemy? And I've been fighting against him and I've been taking water away from him. And he's been thirsty for 3 days because of me. And he's thinking, what if he doesn't accept me and take me as his friend? However, when Hur gets closer and closer, let's say he gets off his horse and he covers his face because he's really ashamed of what he has done. He goes to Imam's tent. Hazrat Abbas sees him and says, who are you? He says, I've come to talk to Mawla Hussein alayhi salam. So he goes to Imam Hussein. Now when he sees Imam Hussein, Hur falls to the ground on his knees and starts saying, I'm so sorry, please forgive me. Imam Hussein says, who are you? Reveal your face so I can see who you are. Hur, with a lot of bravery, decides, I'm going to show him. He takes off the clothing in front of his face and shows, I'm Hur. Can you forgive me for what I have done to you? Will you take me to be your friend after everything I have done? And Imam says, Hur, we have been waiting for you to come back to us. And finally you've returned. Of course I forgive you. You are my brother. And your mother, may Allah be pleased with her, she named you well. For Hur means the man who is free. And you are now a free man. So come and join me. Hur then says, I have 2 requests. One request is, when I took water away from you, all of the women and children had no water. Please tell them, sorry from me, I didn't give them water and they are thirsty now. Because I can hear them saying, Al-Atash, Al-Atash, I'm thirsty, I'm thirsty. Imam Hussein says, don't worry, I will tell them and they will forgive you. What's your second request? And then Hur says, I didn't come alone. With me I brought my son. And I'll ask you, do you also accept my son to fight with you? And the Imam says, of course, your son is a part of my children. Fight with us. So when the battle comes for Ashura, Hur gives a speech in the morning and he fights so bravely and he fights like a lion on the battle. He even says, I am Hur, I'm a lion fighting for my Mawla Hussein. But then Hur fights and he falls to the ground and he says, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Will you come and rescue me, ya Imam? Imam Hussein runs out and he rescues the Imam Hur alayhi salam, holds on to his body, and Hur sees the Imam for the last time before he leaves this world. And then when Hur's son also falls and dies, Imam goes to him as well, because Imam does not leave anyone behind. Although it was hard for the Imam to go and rescue the son of Hur, imagine how hard it would have been for him to go and rescue his own sons, Ali Akbar, who they say is lying there on the plains of Karbala, saying, my father, don't come near me. I don't want you to see how much pain my body is in. That's Imam Hussein. He will go and bring back any friend, and he does not refuse anyone from coming to his door, be they Hur or his son. He sees Hur's son like he sees Ali Akbar. Let's all raise our hands together in dua, inshallah, and say, Ya Allah, we hope and pray for the sake of Hur, for any mistake we have made, forgive us like you forgave Hur, Ya Allah. Ya Allah. Also we pray that, Ya Allah, all those who've been reciting in the Majlis, who are being courageous, and all those who are not reading but are joining in Jawab, may Allah accept and reward all of you, Ya Allah. And finally, we weren't there on Ashura, we weren't there to fight at Karbala, but we are here now. So Allah help us today in all of our responsibilities to our Imam today, inshallah, Ya Allah. Allahumma inni saluka bihaqq al-Fatimata wa biha ba'li wa baniha wa sirr al-musta'awdu fiha hawli salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad ma'atam ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.
I left my house in Karbala, from Karbala, Karbala, Karbala to Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala, Karbala. The luminous moon lighting the way, the rising sun that brightens the day. Heaven without you would be in flames. You're the heaven in Karbala, in Karbala. Your visitors offer you their hands. Enemies will never understand. How can the water rise to the sand? How can the dust win in Karbala, in Karbala? Why? Hussein is opening, Ya Hussein. Why? Heaven is opening, Ya Hussein. Why? Angels descending, Ya Hussein. Why? They are reciting Karbala, in Karbala, from Karbala, Karbala, Karbala to Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala, in Karbala. The luminous moon lighting the way, the rising sun that brightens the day. Heaven without you would be in flames. You're the heaven in Karbala, in Karbala. Your visitors offer you their hands. Enemies will never understand. How can the water rise to the sand? How can the dust win in Karbala, in Karbala? Why? Heaven is opening, Ya Hussein. Why? Angels descending, Ya Hussein. Why? They are reciting Karbala, in Karbala, from Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. that nurtures the young, speaking for Allah, you were the tongue, separating his right from the wrong, elevated in Karbala, the ship that sails swiftly through the waves, and whoever boards your ship is saved, immune from the punishment of the grave. Whoever mourns you in Karbala, when will we meet again, Ya Hussein? When under your dome will I breathe again? From Najaf I walk to Karbala.